Well, you guys want to say anything before we start?
I'm trying to think. What is there to say?
I want to say thank you for having us.
Right,
on
thank you.
Like,
That's really.
Yeah, thank you for having us on.
Like I like to. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think that you guys were like you guys are more of like a music.
It's
I mean, like,
all
you
talents,
guys have
bro.
all talents, but you
It's all
I feel
talents.
like we would like.
But
this
he
isn't
said-
considered
he said
like
it's
an
all
artistry.
talents.
This is,
Oh.
but like you have what more people would consider artists.
Wait. Why is the guy with less talent talking more than the guy with talent?
Oh man,
That's what I'm trying. I was trying to tap his shoulder
That's
real nice, like,
wild.
brother. Listen,
I think it's because your
not
hair
you,
is
it's
like
me.
that. If your hair was nice,
I mean,
no.
it's something he might need a haircut or something.
Bang, wait, can somebody?
You know how long it took to?
How long it took
Got
to
him.
wake up?
Right.
12 hours?
13.
Oh,
When I woke up like this is the point, though. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
He's living his best life.
That's right.
Like,
That's good
still.
enough.
All right. Welcome to LI on the Rise. This is all about people who are chasing their dreams, chasing success, and people who are on the rise. I'm C. Matteo, your host, and today I will be your only host because my boy Alan is in a sports podcast called Get Live with the Crew, and I'm going to have the crew.
Yeah, we here.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
I'm going to have the crew introduce themselves.
All right, so this is Alex Fowler, you know what I'm saying, a.k.a. Stat, a.k.a. Hakeem, Prince Hakeem. Whatever you want to call me, you can find me everywhere, right? Stat?
Yeah,
underscore
Stat.
GL?
That's the one. That's the
That
one.
sounds about right.
I mean, they know who you are, so I
Yeah.
guess I'll introduce myself.
Yes, sir.
It's Mo Guns, Mo Reckless,
Mo Butters.
Mo Gunners, Mo Dollars, Mo Money. They call me the NOTORIOUSMOE. That's Mo, the notorious MOE. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's it.
But mainly, I'm just your host, your everyday Mo Riggins. You know what I'm
Riggins.
saying?
Mo
On the Get Live with the Crew podcast,
That's
sports podcast. You know what I'm saying? Catch us on Spotify, SoundCloud, all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm already plugging it.
Quick promo.
Quick promo.
That's it. And you already know who it is. It's your boy Al Shep. How we doing?
Howdy.
And good morning.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
All right, so Get Live with the Crew.
Yes, sir.
So, sports podcast. What kind of sports are we discussing on this podcast?
You want to take that one?
I mean, I'm more of a basketball aficionado.
Yeah.
I definitely am a
definitely
big
heavy
fan of
basketball.
soccer. Shout out to Arsenal, Lucas Torreira.
Oh, I was about
Lucas
to point.
Torreira. I know.
You almost got it finally. He's been trying. That's all it
You
took.
almost got me.
He's been trying to do it on Get Live with the Crew for a season. All it took was getting to one episode.
Listen, that's
one
it.
episode of LA
That's
on the
it.
Rise. That was
But
it.
yeah. So we're pretty universal. We try to incorporate a little bit of everything, but basketball.
Yeah. Mostly. I would say where it started out very heavy basketball, heavy football, but that's
Very.
because we're all heavy basketball, heavy football, former football players, and after that, like when we brought on Shep, we definitely tried to expand because Shep has a lot of knowledge in the baseball realm, and then the hockey realm, which we don't
Soccer
have a
as
lot of
well.
knowledge in.
Premier League
Soccer as
soccer,
well,
right,
and he
right.
has a lot of knowledge in soccer as well.
Oh,
So we just
awesome.
tried to. We figured with having Shep on now, we're trying to hit every range of.
Right,
we're trying to
right.
bring in women's sports as well now because we feel like they don't get enough spotlight in general. So we're trying to hit every.
All the majors.
Yeah, all the majors.
Except for tennis.
Every facet out there. We're trying to talk about it all. We're not going to get it all in every episode, but we try to talk about all the major things that are happening.
All right, real quick. Mo does this every time.
You-
No
yo, it's
matter
gonna
what
happen,
we're
bro.
on, Mo goes on a 2 to 3 minute tangent. Like, I love it
I like to
because
explain myself.
once he gets going, he doesn't stop. But
It's like a train that doesn't have
it's
a
all
brake.
right, bro.
This is the thing. So this
It's
is how
okay.
it works. This is how it works. Is I know what I want to say, but it takes me a while to say it.
He
So I have
gets-
to keep
he gets
going until I
excited.
get the point.
Right. But you did good, kid.
Yeah,
You did good.
I see how
You
it
did
stopped there. I could have kept
It's
going.
like a UPS truck, no left turns. You know what I mean?
good. Can they really not make left turns?
Yeah, it's like, but it's not as strict as I'm.
All right, all right.
It's
It's not a real thing.
Now the joke
Gotcha.
isn't funny. Thanks.
There it is.
It wasn't that funny to begin with.
Anyway.
How is it on the business end?
You know how they tell you not to go in business with your best friends? That is 100% true.
100% correct.
100% true. Me and Mo have known each other for 20 plus years,
Bro,
and I've
thanks.
never been more mad at Mo since we started this business.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the time where I've actually had to yell at him.
For real.
Right, definitely. We don't really butt heads like that because
Nah.
we're two polar opposites, so we actually like work out
Yeah.
perfectly. He doesn't care.
That's a fact.
I care.
That's a fact.
That's what we do.
But it's the right kind of not care.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I care in the right situations.
Kind of.
It depends on like
a little bit.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you got me.
This is the guy that loses his phone and then says if they really want to get in touch with me, they will, and doesn't get a new phone.
There's no way to get in touch with him.
Yeah,
Just like
at
You
all.
literally have to go to this man's house,
people know how to find
and
me.
he might not even be. At
He
his
might
house.
not even be there.
I
right.
might not be there.
But as far as the business end goes, it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. I can say to start it off for sure because people are like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. And in all honesty, we were able to hash out the major details of our business within like the first 45 minutes of us meeting. It was just a random Thursday. It was like, all right, cool, we're going to do it. All right, we can't do it this weekend. We're going to do it next week. We can't do it this week. We're going to do next weekend. And then we sat down, did it for maybe 47 minutes, and we got the articles out. We got the name
And
out.
then at that point, it's
After
just
that,
paperwork.
word.
There's actually another thing I wanted to touch on too is how did you guys get yourselves out there and really build an audience? How did you guys get seen? Any like, tips?
At this point, it feels like longevity.
Like we're just selling.
Do it forever. Eventually, someone's gonna listen.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the beginning where?
Okay, we'll start at the very beginning where I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
14, and I had just moved to North Carolina, and I had a neighbor actually in Amityville where he had a radio show. And, back then everyone just called it a radio show because no one would know what you were saying if it was a podcast, right? It was like, oh, I got a podcast. It's like, crackpot? Like, what are you talking about? So basically he told me how to do it, go online, sign in, create an account, all that good stuff. And at 14 years old, I was just talking to one person on the other end. And it was maybe two people. Because, who's going to listen to a 14-year-old on the radio?
Yeah.
I don't think that's
True.
ever been a popular thing.
I feel like it was more. I mean,
In the
not the
very,
whole
very
time.
beginning.
but at the very, very beginning, it was more or less like me and this kid met in preschool. Like how old were we? 5 years old?
Nah, that's too old.
Too
We was
old? 4 years old?
four.
Like this is when people say you're day one. This is my day one right here. You know what I mean?
Nah, it was day two. I ain't like him day one.
Nah, day one we bumped heads. Yo, you stole my
I was-
crayons.
right.
But
Let's not get emotional.
no, but seriously. But what I'm saying is, when he first moved away to North Carolina, I felt
Right.
like the podcast was kind of how we stayed in touch a little bit. I
Right.
was like, we wouldn't talk on the phone all the time, but we'd be like, yo, we got that podcast
Right.
coming up. We'll talk during that. We'll talk about sports and stuff, and that's how it started. So we didn't really care about who was listening.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was really for us.
I was about to say, to be honest, I still don't care who listens, but that's not true at all. I press so many people for, hey, did you listen to Get Live with the
Did you
crew this
listen
week?
to it?
What was your favorite part? What part didn't you like?
But
I
now it's
go
because it's for
hard.
other people now. It's
Right.
not. It's not just for us.
Right.
So I feel like as we tried to get bigger, our main thing was reaching out to the people who were listening to it and seeing what they liked about it the most,
Right.
and then
double down on that.
and then using that to engage with people on social media in terms of trying to expand it to other people. It's like, if this is what you liked, we'll stick with that, and then when we engage people, that's what we'll bring up. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? That's how we'll present ourselves. And it was kind of like trial and error, you know what I mean? And it's
Very
just
much.
like we've had enough trial that by now
Right.
is that we know what's going to cause the most error, and now it's just minor error.
So
Yes, sir.
could you guys give any tips for someone who wants to start doing something like this? How they could avoid
you wanna-
these
you wanna
errors
start?
and
'Cause-
these setbacks?
Because I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give it to him real. So I think you should go first.
Setbacks. First setback I think you're gonna face is the first letdown. It's like when you think you're gonna get more people to listen,
Wow.
and you don't. You know what I
Wow.
mean? It's because it's like I have really close friends who are like, yo, I listen to your podcast every week, and then I have family members who ask me about it, but they never listen. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's in that sense, it's like we're reaching people,
Right.
but it's kind of the people that I would talk to this about in my everyday. My friends, yes, they engage, but my family, who I still talk about it in the everyday, they don't really listen to my podcast as much. So it's like, when I engage those people, it's hard to like what's the word I'm saying? Like use their critiques in the way I want to.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So and that I feel like was a hard thing. Is don't get down on yourself when you start it, and make sure that you're listening to the right people when you critique yourself. You
Don't
know
let
what I
your
mean?
first failure be your total, like the total of it.
Exactly.
Don't
pretty
let
much.
yourself be
Exactly.
discouraged off of maybe only 5 people listening to your first one.
Right.
Exactly.
It's gonna come.
And don't let any negatives derail you. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like that's really what I'm saying. It's like it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but
Right.
you still got to make those steps forward. You know what I mean? Like, and even if you take 1 step back, you still made 1 step forward net. You know what I mean? You take
Pretty
4
much.
steps forward, 6 steps back, 5 steps forward. You still made net. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you gotta like we said, we made errors. So you gotta have stuff that comes back to you and it's like, is it exactly what you expected it to be? But just keep plugging forward.
Just don't number watch for sure.
Yeah,
You will get very discouraged and possibly humbled by the fact that you'll tell like maybe 12 people to look out, like people you talk to on a regular basis type of thing. Yeah, check out the show tonight, and then you'll go back to look and only 3 people that watched it or listened to it. And you like in the beginning.
And it's weird. Sometimes it'll be like people in like when we first did blog talk and stuff. It was like people in like Australia and shit.
Oh yeah.
Who were like, it's like, a regular time over there. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's people in different parts of the world who are just on the website.
Right.
They're like, what's this show?
And
You know what I mean?
They would listen to it.
And they listen to it. And like, and then you wouldn't get full completions because some people just clicked on it. You know what I mean? And then, but some people listen to the full thing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Nah, you're good. You pretty much finished it off. Just
well, I just wanted to expand on what you were saying there.
Nah, I hear you. Don't do it again.
This is a regular thing. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well,
this is gonna be a congratulations.
I think it's great the fact that you guys did keep going, and now you guys do have a good amount of listeners. You guys got some eyes on you.
Yeah.
You guys with the old episodes you were taking in callers, so it's like you guys did come a long way. So like props to you guys. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Much
Not
appreciated.
stopping. It's good you guys kept
tough.
going.
Yeah, for
You know?
sure.
Yeah.
Now listening to the podcast, there's about 4 to 5 people all speaking.
Yes.
So
all the time.
How do you guys maintain like structure in your show and have a nice flow to it?
Well,
I got you.
I'm gonna take this one.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no,
yeah,
Shep.
actually,
Yeah,
Shep,
Shep.
so.
You kind of just have Alex like say a topic or a stat for the show, and then basically it's Mo goes first and talks about it for 5 or 6 minutes, and then I'll try to throw a jab or 2 on why he's wrong, and then Alex will say no, and then Carson will be like, man, I'm from North Carolina, and then the segment's over.
That's how
that was literally how it was.
No,
Saturdays.
it's way better than that. I'm just kidding, but no, it's like a disorganized family that ends up being organized somehow.
Right.
That
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
But that's exactly how it's supposed to be, though.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying organic, because we try to keep it as real as possible.
All natural.
I hate editing out mistakes because it's so genuine, and you could tell that we're human. Too many times people want to like, all right, this has to be exactly right, otherwise
Cookie cutter.
Exactly. But don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being like that.
Yeah,
but
it's like-
we wanted to literally be like a conversation amongst your friends. When you're with your friends, you don't saying, hey, thanks, Christian. I'll take it from here. Like, you don't talk like that. You talk over them. You yell at them. You get angry when they're saying, I pour the cereal before the milk or cereal or milk before the cereal. Like, you get mad at them. So, and we try to like just keep that in mind and
Cut
get
them off,
louder.
all that stuff.
Right, exactly.
No
So,
more mute button though.
That's really how I used to have control. I would just shut it down.
There's no control
I would
now.
just shut it down.
Since we switched from Blog Talk to Anchor FM,
Yeah,
there's no control.
Anchor, if you're listening, please.
Yo, mute button.
Mute button.
For the host and co-host.
Mute button.
I might need it a couple times. You never know.
So like with the show, like you guys like do have conversations and you guys do keep it real. So does it ever get weird trying to keep it real because you're talking with your friends and you ever think about what anybody else is thinking when you're saying how you feel, or you're just like fuck it?
We're basically you're gonna hear what we have to say,
Yeah.
whether you like
And
it or
this
not.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
This is how it goes.
He's like, wait. I'm sorry. What'd you say? Okay, you're
But this is what I'm saying. All
We
right,
tried
this
to jam so much information because we know we're gonna eventually somebody's gonna be like, nah.
Right,
nah,
wait,
nah.
like, what are you talking about?
Like you guys ever have like you guys ever about to say something you're like, he might not like that.
No,
no,
absolutely
don't care.
not.
No,
No,
I'm trying
I
to
don't.
hurt
I don't
somebody's
give a damn.
feelings, to be
I
honest
don't
with you.
care. I
Yeah,
try to piss them off.
Yo, like this man is trying to cut
Oh, yeah.
like in spades.
Yeah.
Like yo, for real. Like,
Right.
but no, this is what I was trying to say is. Like I said, with me and him trying to start the show, when we started the show, it was like a buddy thing. We always wanted it to be like a people kind of fly on the wall on our sports arguments. Like in a sense, how like I don't want to compare us to them, but Stephen A. and kind of Skip used to just like go at it. Like it was originally just us going at it. Like, no, you're wrong. This is why you're wrong. Yada yada yada.
Right.
And then as we brought on more people, it got a little bit more difficult to maintain the structure of that because there's more people. But at the same time, it's the same as if you were like if everybody. Usually everybody comes to my house to chill. Shep's been to my house many times. You've been to my house before.
I got
Alex
a key.
Lives there.
I got a key.
I
got a key.
For real. Like my house is an open door for everybody that's a part of my family. So like when you're there, this is how we talk.
Right.
So when you're on Get Live with the crew, you're a part of the family. And this is how the family talks.
So the style of your podcast, how it's like very just casual discussion.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that something you guys were aiming to do to kind of stand out?
You can say
bit?
that.
Yes,
I would definitely say that.
actually 89% why we chose to do it that way.
Yeah.
So we're
Because-
not going to just act like he didn't say 89.
Anyway, real quick. But yeah, no, I think
69
it's
is
the best
4%.
way to no,
Sorry,
no, it's not. But no, we feel like it's the best way to talk. Everyone's always so uptight around the internet, like, oh man, I got to be proper, or maybe you just don't care, like Mo. And that is just the best way to do it. Honestly, everyone has a script. I can honestly tell you and tell everyone who's like watching or will watch this. I haven't studied for our show since this whole season. Like I've gotten off work, did the show, no practice, no nothing, and it came out fire. Now when I think too hard, that's when I make mistakes, and I feel like that's just anything in life, honestly.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's like it's gotten better to the point where I like to wing it now because
Absolutely.
I've tried to like write out like monologues and stuff because I've actually studied like Colin Cowherd doing his and like Will Kane doing his and like how they like get stats fed to them and how they like, you know what I mean, like what they bring to the desk and what they read off their thing and what they spat, and I've like tried to figure out like how I would want to do that and where I need to like pull my information from while I'm trying to do the show.
Right.
But like he said, what I find is when I'm trying to pull information or trying to pull a script that I've written, it doesn't go. It's not the organic material that we're aiming for. It's not what we're trying to do. It's not the fly on the wall conversation anymore.
Well, I would say something like this. It's because we don't seem like it's a disorganized mess because it's not. It's more like we're not prepared. We're just so passionate about the sports. We have so much love for the sports that we already know.
Right.
Like,
There's
that's the
nothing
thing, like,
to study. It is our common knowledge.
To just
it's
know.
something I love to keep up
Like,
with.
that's
It's
what-
a part of my being is sports and watching it. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's going in and just winging it about soccer. It's because I literally all day have been looking at this stuff and it's just like there's a topic. I don't even realize it. You know what I mean? It's just something that's so ingrained in me that you don't even need to think about it.
I call it recording venting.
Yeah.
Like venting recording, because that's literally what it is about sports and how we feel about it.
I was gonna say one of the things that I said recently on the show that I was like, I feel like was proven in week 17 of the football season, and I was just right about was the Patriots being 5-1, and I was like, if they're 5-1 in their 5-1 in their division, which they almost always are, if the Patriots go 5-1 in their division, they're gonna get a first round bye.
Get to your point.
Sorry, my point.
Talking about my Jets here. I don't want to hear this nonsense
My
right
bad.
now.
You could be the
I
one.
wanna hear it.
Like anyway,
bro.
my point being that the Patriots usually have an easy way into the playoffs, and it weighs heavy on where Tom Brady gets to do his major work. And then in week 17, they had to beat one of their division rivals, your Jets, I believe it was, to go 5-1 to get that first round bye. And I was just like, see, this is something that I like talk about in every day that like I just thought of, realized, and I knew I was right, but now it's proven. Like, I've seen it proved out. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what he means. Like, when you say, like, we're so passionate about it, we know what we're talking about. Like, it's not like we're going on to the show. We're just like, yeah, like, this is something, and, like, that's just how I feel. We're like, no, like, this is why, like, a lot of times you'll see us like, bro, did you go and look at the stats? Like I've seen the stats. I had to go and check them, but I was like, this man right here. We pull out stats, like, we'll go and we'll be like, yo, I'm pulling out this stat because I know nobody else has checked it real quick. Like, oh, so you really think that person's nice, but I got this sheet of paper right here with at least 4 stats in this direction. So are you really right, or are you being passionate right now?
It's usually passion for me. I follow bums, dude. Like the people that I'm not even gonna go into it.
Yeah, please don't plug your
No.
I don't even know what to disrespect your teams right now. But
Des
please don't-
Bryant.
Now,
Des Bryant.
when you guys are
God.
having your sports show going on and things are getting rowdy, who's the guy to like calm things down?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
We shutting all that down, fellas. all
All
that
right, cut. We gonna go into the next topic. We'll see you later.
And Honestly,
And can we get into? I know there's some rules in the podcast. Can we get some of the rules?
all right. So the rules. I'm so glad you asked, man.
This is gonna be ridiculous.
All right.
And they're not ranked at all. They're all the number one rule.
Right.
By the way, this is all only stat approved rules.
Only stat approved. It's his show.
Yeah. So you cannot say anything bad about Jabari Parker at all.
The basketball player, for people who don't know.
Zero.
It's getting difficult, though. I'll say that.
Can't say.
Hey, we want you to ball, Jabari. We want you to ball.
He doesn't really mean that. You can't say anything negative about blueberry muffins.
Not in my house.
Blueberry muffins.
They're fire.
That is. Thank you.
Don't happen.
And the Knicks are not to be spoken about unless previously authorized.
So it's not just no negativity about the
No,
Knicks?
no. It's more so.
Negativity now?
No. See, this is the thing.
It's
we're not on the show, so I can talk about it now.
We're
We're not on the show, so I can talk about it now.
No, you can't.
The Knicks are so bad that he doesn't want to have to think about them in any form or facet unless he brings on the thought. So if he says it's all right on the show, it's all right. But if he gets sidelined,
he knows he's looking
at him.
blindsided
with it. I know exactly how he's looking at me right now. All right, but if he gets blindsided with it, he gets taken out of his flow.
New co-host.
That's how that goes.
Terrible.
Anyway.
But outside of that, our rules are pretty much. I tried to crack down on time, but it's
don't work for
me. It's been a.
Especially since we went to Acre, no holds barred.
Yeah, it's
no holds barred.
It'll go for 30 minutes for sure, but I try to cut it down to like 15, 16. What's another rule we have? Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, they hate when I say it. I try to keep it organic as possible.
Real quick.
No real disrespect. You can only disrespect people's like fandom, but you can't disrespect the person.
Right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's the universal rule. You know what I'm saying? But
cool.
we're pretty lenient. You know, like I said, the more constraints we put on it in the past, it was like the less real it felt. Like it didn't feel like we were live. If I can say that. Definitely makes sense.
Outside of podcasting,
right,
and sports.
Okay.
Do you guys have any other hobbies, passions, or interests?
Oh man, definitely spread love. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely.
Ask questions later.
Shh. Anyway, yeah, so I mean that's really it. That's really what I do. I try to be as vulnerable as possible to allow people to come to me and be themselves. Like pretty much what I preach and teach with not I, but we do as Get Live with the Crew. And it's just something that I really take great joy in, because a lot of people will come up to me and they'll end up telling me their life story and I didn't ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
I just have that vulnerability about myself to even tell things that happen to me. Not everyone can walk up and tell I just met you off the street and tell your whole life story.
No, but there are people like that.
Right.
There are people who are willing to invite you into their life
right.
like that.
So as far as a hobby, I would call it more so my passion, for real.
Yeah.
That'd definitely be something.
And I feel in that same way, and that's why I would say one of my passions, I like to say it's like public speaking, and it's more or less because I like to converse with people. You know what I mean? It's not just that I like to hear people's walks of life, but I like to also try and figure out why they took that perspective on that walk. You know what I mean? So it's like I like to. So that's why I enjoy the podcast. It gives me a way to converse with my friends and talk to them about what they think in major sports. You know what I mean? But also I love music, and I also try and dabble in music. I try and record with my cousin a little bit. I try and record with my brother.
Right.
I got a couple of other people who a lot of people do music around me. It's just been a passion of mine since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So it's I was gonna say I'm gonna be really tight if y'all don't ask me the core 4 questions. If I come on LA on the Rise and I don't get the core 4, I'm gonna be upset.
Every rapper, hip hop artist gets it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So anyway.
Dude, when's the fucking mixtape dropping,
bro? I know,
honestly,
bro.
man, let's get it, dude.
I know,
you got my
I
number,
know.
bro.
Bro,
You're
I know.
phone call away.
I know.
Let's
bro,
fucking get it, man.
Bro, you know what it is?
My bad.
I have
Little intermission right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing?
bro, called me out. Called me out, bro.
No, I'm just
it's
saying.
I kind of want a core
for
4
real.
too now.
No,
Nah,
we'll do the core 4 later because I want to hear his core 4 as well. But you want to say something?
Alan, hobbies or passions.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Then I'll say mine. Word.
For people who don't know, I'm on LI on the Rise. That's a hobby and passion.
Yep.
Get Live with the Crew is a hobby and passion. I know you guys know that already, but other than that, maybe playing video games and also just living my best life. I try, you know what I mean? But
what's the go-to game we're gonna play
FIFA.
later?
NHL.
FIFA.
How much money are you willing to lose?
Viva la FIFA.
In NHL? I'm not playing you in NHL.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
If you don't know about me in NHL, don't even talk.
The
All
GOAT.
right, the FIFA, the FIFA.
De la
The
FIFA.
We'll live stream me killing him sometime in the future.
It's gonna happen.
But
It's gonna happen.
you got something to say?
Nah,
You got something to
I'm
say?
good, man.
All right,
I'm
good, yeah.
He's gonna reserve comment.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, mostly video gaming and just being a sociable person.
Yeah,
You know what?
I feel like we all have that in common. We're all very social.
Absolutely, and just trying to do my
you're
best
right.
every day.
Definitely.
That's a passion of mine.
What are your plans for the future? What are your
Nice.
plans for expanding?
Loaded question, man.
Yeah.
Really loaded.
Don't let Mo answer it,
Why not?
because it's gonna be another 45 minutes.
Right.
No, it's a very simple answer.
No, it isn't.
I think it's a real quick answer, you
No,
know.
it's one line from Pinky and the Brain. Trying to take over the world.
He gave it away, man. You're supposed to let the people figure out what it was, man.
That's exactly what it is.
But nah, in all seriousness, I'm definitely gonna try to do this. I'm not do this, but because I hate people saying motivational speaker. I hate people saying public speaking. I really genuinely just want to spread love, and I think word of mouth remains the most productive way of basically becoming successful, especially in what we're doing: podcasts, music, sports. Word of mouth. Because I can't tell you how many kids will come up to me and show me a highlight of some kid on the other side of the world who dunks from the free throw line. I don't know who that is, but now I do because one of my kids showed me that I coach. That type of thing. And I just think the more we just connect with people, network, it'll definitely take off way quicker than we ever imagined. Because the minute we sit down and try to crunch numbers and do all that, don't get me wrong, that's very important in the business and definitely in just any step in life that you want to take. But definitely focus on just being the best you can be. I know how cliche that sounds, but it's the truth. I tried it both ways. I tried following the crowd. I've tried doing what attracts the crowd, and it never brought the crowd. The minute I stopped caring is when, yo, Alec, I checked out your show the other week. Yo, you guys are doing great. Hey, do you want to come on? Hey, do you want to do this? Like, it's really night and day. And people look at me with the craziest eyes when they're like, what do you mean it's better than money? I'm like, what do you mean it's not better than money? Have you ever, do you know what it's like to feel when you give like someone generally
I get money all the time.
Right. I get a paycheck.
I get money all the time.
It's nothing new. But like when you can give to someone who can't like basically give it back to you. And I'm not talking about, let me just go, I'm about to go on a Mo tangent. I hate when people record doing anything for someone homeless or anyone who's sick in their hospital bed.
Speak.
Do not bring a camera to that event. Tell your homies to delete it. Tell your homies to never share it. Just stop. It's annoying. And it could be embarrassing to that person.
Exactly. Word.
No one cares though. It's like, well, my homies
But they're getting
over here,
stuff. But they're getting stuff.
but they're getting money. How can they be embarrassed? Like
No.
you don't know. Like they could still have a little bit of pride that they don't want to accept handouts. Like maybe they're just sitting there because they had literally nowhere else to go.
That's a fact.
You just don't know. But that's just something that really irks me, and I really wish everyone would just like cease that at all.
Just be nice without
end it.
filming it.
That's a fact.
Word.
How hard is that?
Because that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about.
It's not about.
Word.
It's not about your followers. It's about this person's life.
That's a fact.
And I was gonna say, anyway, I'm sorry. I was gonna say
Nah,
for the
man,
future
no,
question, plans in the future. Me personally, one of the things I want to do in conjunction with Get Live with the Crew, but I feel like our main thing is we're trying to inspire community. Does that sound correct?
Sounds very correct.
All right.
Communities.
Communities, yeah, that's a better one. We were like, we want to revitalize our community and then take that, revitalize other communities. You know what I mean?
Amityville Day for sure, man.
Yeah, and we definitely, like do different events.
Back in the
like,
day, it was Amityville
jump
Day
in.
one weekend, then it was Wine Dance.
It was
Day.
like, yo,
you just knew.
Back in the day, people were like, yeah, I got to go back to Amityville for Amityville Day.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like, even if you, like,
lived in a whole nother state,
moved out,
everything.
you were coming back for Amityville Day. Like, you know what I mean?
It was almost like another holiday for us.
Yeah.
Really, it was. It was a day that not too many things, like, I mean, there were fights all the time, like, over the course of years, but it never took away from the day.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie, like Mo mentioned, from us at all. And I I really have such a strong passion for my town, and not just because everywhere I go, Amityville, like the horror house. I've been to not Jamaica. I was about to lie. I've been to maybe like Georgia or maybe like Florida, and I was like, yeah, I'm from Amityville, New York, and they're just like the movie, and I'm like, unfortunately, the movie. Yes, I get it.
The worst part is the people who will say, "Oh, like that town from the movie." No, it's that town. It's that town.
It
That's
is like that is the town. Leave it alone.
It's not just like
it's not like that town. It is that town.
just
Like they
living in
think
a
it's a
movie
different
set.
town. They think there's a different Amityville,
Right.
and I'm living in that one. No,
Yeah.
I'm living in the Amityville, and it's not like that. It's not like that.
at all. But all in all, man, there's a lot of people who are already on a head start. We really just want to be able to team up with them in the near future. Shout out to Minority Millennials.
That's
They're
a
one of
fact.
them.
That's a fact.
Live on Sunday. There's a lot of people who are already getting the ball rolling, like especially in Boulder Mac Park. Boulder Mac Park.
Yeah, Boulder
the
Mac is
last
jumping
2
now.
years,
And whoever's
man.
revitalizing that,
Shout
we
out
need
to
get in
you
touch with.
guys for sure.
That's a
'cause
fact.
I remember going to camp there and we had the crappiest conditions
Bro,
there. No
cracks in
one
the court.
came practically. But
Basket-
now
The
y'all
hoops
doing the thing.
We're missing every other week.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there were times where we wouldn't even have the car to use as we were younger, and we would walk past Boulder Mac Park and go all the way to Tanner Park. That's how bad it used to be. But now it's like, yo, Boulder Mac
Also,
is
there's
where
nobody
it's
there.
at.
So
That's
it's like if you wanted the game,
right. You had to go to Tanner. But yeah, nah, definitely more community involvement, love, peace, all that gushy stuff.
Fucking keep winning. That's
Profound. Very profound.
profound.
it. Who's gonna stop me?
Nobody.
That's it.
Where can people follow you guys on your journey, all three of you?
Man, let's see here. My MySpace is gone, so we can't go that route. Let's go with IG 317th_. Twitter. You might have seen me on NBA TV a couple of times. My tweets have made it.
More than once.
Yes, 2 times.
Yeah. That's
you
more
can,
than once?
You can feel it is.
Don't
You
wanna
can find
see
me
the target is 100.
stat_GL. You'll definitely find me. I'm live. I'm lit.
He's the only stat_GL too, so that's why we found him.
I mean that makes sense. I feel like you can't have the duplicate name. Yeah.
Oh, people couldn't find you, can they?
What do you mean? This is
If you want to find me, you could look up LI on the Rise.
there you
But
go.
also
I
too,
like
I'm
that.
on Tinder,
That was
Christian
good.
Mingle, Farmers Only,
Farmers only.
BlackPeopleMeet.com. A little bit of everything. I'm there. Just if you follow me, don't message me. No, I'm just kidding. Message me.
What's your farmers only? I gotta know. I'm looking for you.
I'm looking for a big long hoe. That's my bio.
Oh man.
Oh,
no.
God.
I need somebody to pick my corn or shuck my corn. I'm sorry. Oh man, but no, you can follow me at Alan_Shepherd_Jr. on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook at Alan Shepherd Jr. I don't know why I was holding the mic. It's in the stand. And yeah, that's it.
And?
Oh, and also listen to Get Live with the Crew and listen and watch LA on the Rise, bitch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
Bitch.
Yeah.
Emphasis on that. Dad, I was gonna show my mama this part.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Not this part.
nice people.
Cut it off, right?
You gonna call him? How you gonna ask him to launch your show?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you can find me Showtime_Mo Reckless.
Wow.
The 3 is an E. The E is a 3. I mean, that's Instagram. You can find me at Notorious MOE
Wow.
on Snapchat. It's the NOTORIOUSMOE. That's Mo. And I'm
Has he
living
ever
my best
misspelled
life.
I'm pretty sure.
That's
yeah.
Yeah,
actually-
right. I think we never
No,
catch
I
it.
don't
really.
misspell it. That's actually how I spell that word now.
Like Wednesday.
Like, exactly. He autocorrected the autocorrect. He was like, "Do you want this to be the way it is every time it's wrong?"
That's
Yes.
a fact.
Yes. I'm
Like
like,
when people started spelling fabulous wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fabulous.
Baby, yo.
Thanks, Fab. We appreciate it.
Thank you for that. I failed my
All-
5th grade spelling test.
We are gonna close this out with Mo giving us a living my best life.
Take
Here
it
we go.
away.
Oh God, you put me on the spot.
Let's
I
get
Yeah.
it. Let's get it. Let's
Man,
get it.
You got it, brother.
Nah.
No, I need a
I got
Chris-
excited. I got excited. I gotta get Chris. Can you do it with me?
Okay.
Cause I know you can.
Give me a count.
All right. Wait, we go 3, 2, 1.
If you count down 3, 2, 1, I swear to God, we're
Right.
editing it out.
He said he wanted to count.
How are we gonna come in on time?
Yeah, like duh. Like
You guys are musicians. You figure it out. No, it's fine.
1, 2, 3. I'm living my best life.
It wasn't really.
That's a
'Cause he tapped it
fucking
already.
rap.
That's it.
That's it.
Man, that was sweet.